Hi everyone, it's Dr. Loyola here. Just welcoming you back to the class now that we've had 2 weeks of surprise spring break. We are moving fully online for the rest of this semester. I hope that you're all doing pretty well and as well as can be in this really disruptive and tumultuous time. Hope you're all hanging in there, finding some moments of humor and joy even in the midst of, I don't know, things just pretty chaotic and turned a little bit upside down. So this is just a quick video, like I said, just to welcome you back to the class. I want to go over a few things just to clarify some of the primary changes that have been made so we're all on the same page. And hopefully to alleviate some of the anxiety that a lot of you seem to be feeling about moving into an online environment following COVID-19. So with that said, let me be clear that everything that I'm saying in this video is documented in text on the course website. So you can find all of that again back there. You don't have to rewatch this video. This is just to kind of touch base with you visually and verbally, and also just to go over some things. So just to start, so first thing, kind of the biggest change is that we are going to cut one episode of Black Mirror and just do 2 more till we're done. Those 2 are going to be USS Callister and San Junipero. And the reason that we're going to cut Hated in the Nation is because 1, that had a kind of a significant majority in the voting to those of you who responded to that second survey. And 2, it is topically, I think, going to be challenging to watch and talk about at this point, since it does deal with kind of surprise mass death across a culture. So it seems to me that we don't really need to engage with that particular dystopia at this time. So we're going to do 2 more episodes, USS Callister and San Junipero. Each of these episodes is going to get 2 weeks of time, and all of the work for that episode will be due at the end of that 2-week period. So what this means is that you can work on any of that stuff, the assignments that are due, the lectures that I'll be posting, the readings, all of it, any time within that 2-week block of time. That's what we mean by an asynchronous course. So you can work at your own pace, you can do things at whatever order you want. But just know that I will always post it with a recommended schedule to help you manage this time. Because I know that can be a big challenge of moving to an online and remote asynchronous environment. So the work for each of these episodes basically is going to be the video essays, as we've been doing throughout the semester, and the annotated bibliography contribution. So that's not changed at all. That's the same as it has been. But to replace the in-class participation and discussion, there will be some kind of like class day lecture and participation assignment that checks that you've understood what we're talking about, that you're kind of engaging with the content, and so on. And that will be kind of take the place, as I said, of in-class participation and discussion. In addition, we do have 2 facilitations left. So 2 different groups of students will be facilitating USS Callister and San Junipero. And those facilitations are still going to happen, and we're going to try to keep them synchronous. And what that means is that we're going to try to meet all at one time on one video chat and let those groups of students run their facilitation just as they would if we were actually lucky enough to meet on campus. So first, when are those going to happen? They are going to take place on the 2nd Wednesday of each unit. So the USS Callister one will be on April 1st, and the San Junipero one will be on April 15th. They will be conducted via Microsoft Teams through video chat, and that'll be from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. Unfortunately, I don't have any other blocks of time that I know for sure I'll be available, so I hope that you all can make this. If you cannot make this time, there will be an asynchronous option so you don't lose those points. But again, I really just want to ask you to do your best to make that time so you can support your classmates, right? And be kind of a good peer within this community of learning that we're forming and trying to maintain. So these last 2 episodes are going to get us through 4 weeks, and we have 2 weeks left before the finals period. So that last block of time is going to be used for you to work on your final video projects. I will tell you more about those when we get there. So in about a month, you can expect another video talking about that assignment. But what I will say for now is that on the original syllabus, that was a collaborative assignment. And now there's going to be an option to collaborate, but it is no longer required since you can't probably meet up and actually work together. So if you want to collaborate, I welcome and encourage that. And certainly there are ways to collaborate effectively virtually, but that is no longer required. Okay, and then finally, the last kind of different thing that I've done is I would like to get in touch with you every week just to confirm that things are working, the pace is working for you, you're feeling okay about online learning and so on. And I'm going to do that through surveys on Moodle at the end of every week. You're not required to fill these out. You don't have to respond at all. Just consider this another way that I'm aiming to keep communication open with all of you. So these will be posted, as I said, at the end of every week. You'll find them on the surveys block on Moodle. And again, that's not required, but even if you just say, you know, I'm doing fine, everything's good, that would be helpful for me to know. Okay, so next big topic is how to contact me. So obviously we're not going to see each other any remaining Tuesdays and Thursdays, so what if you need to get in touch with me? So option one, of course, is email. I do have email from Coastal going to my phone right here. And so I will get that every time I get an email. So that's if you have just kind of a long form, something you want to touch base, that's always a great option. As I've noted on Moodle, though I have access to it at all times, I don't always have the ability to respond at all times. So if something is urgent and you need a response soon, please indicate that in the subject line. Okay, another way you can contact me is through the Microsoft Teams chat. So I've set up a Microsoft Teams space for our class, which will run a kind of synchronous text message group chat option. That's another thing that runs on an app model that I have on my phone with notifications. So if you have a quick question, you can post it there. And that's something that would almost be like if we were text messaging. So it can be informal, very chill, whatever you want. So that's the Teams chat. Okay, your third option for contacting me is through the synchronous virtual office hours. So every week on Thursdays from 2 to 4, I will send you all a link to a video chat that you can join for virtual office hours. Again, this is completely optional. There's no requirement to be there. But if you want to talk to me basically face-to-face, we can do that at that time. Okay, you also have the option to request an individual meeting if you want some one-on-one time with me. And that is by request. And I will do my best to accommodate all of those requests, but obviously the more forewarning you can give me for one of those, the better. So I will ask that you give me at least a day's notice, if not two, to get that into my schedule. All right, and then finally, there are forums on Moodle that I invite you to post to. Again, I'm subscribed to those, which means I will get an email every time somebody posts. So again, that's another way that you can get in touch with me. So I will let you kind of use whichever one of those venues you want, whichever one of those channels. All of them are available to you, and I am monitoring every single one of them basically at all times, though again, not able to respond to all of them all the time. Okay, so now I'm going to switch it up, and we're going to look over our new Moodle site just to clarify for you all where everything is and where you can find stuff. Okay, so here is our new Moodle site. And the first thing that you will notice is that it's had a bit of a facelift, just to kind of indicate the ways that this is now working in an online space and the way that our class has changed. So you've got the announcement that we're moving online, the social distancing edition situation at the top, so you know for sure this is the right site to be at right now. Okay, I've added this block of information here in on your right menu, which just has my email, and information of where you can find me, our Wednesdays virtual office hours, and so on. And then as well the course time, which again, this is asynchronous, work at your own pace, with things being due every 2 weeks at the week's end. Our weeks end on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that means that for this class, you will only ever have work due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. This was the day, again, that was most voted for on that second survey, so that's why we're headed for Friday. Okay, so I have also added this online policy block here, right in the center of our course, which goes over some basic rules and guidelines for operating online. Most of this I've already been over, but I do want to draw your attention to item 7, which includes a link to our course netiquette guidelines. Nothing surprising, but I do think they're worth drawing your attention to, just to remind you that we will be maintaining a respectful atmosphere and an engaged learning community, even though we are in remote and asynchronous environment. So you can look at those. Again, nothing there should be surprising, but I do just want to point that to you. All right, I also want to point out that this is a fairly long scroll, and that is a kind of stuck box. So I've also added this anchor tag right here, where you can jump right down to the content. Okay. All right, so most of this has not been changed from our previous course. It's just gotten a little bit more robust. So syllabus and schedule, if you open that, you will notice that I've added our adjusted schedule right here. So that's linked here as a PDF. If you need an alternative version, so speech to text or something else, you can access this Word doc right here. The adjusted schedule also includes all the new policy changes. So this is your best document for getting a broad overview of everything that's changed for this course now that we've moved online. Okay, announcements and forums. Again, you've noticed we still have the peer-to-peer tech support. That's a typo, that should say peer, not pair, of course. An announcements forum, which is how I will primarily announce things to you as a class. Everyone is subscribed to this, which means you'll be getting these announcements to your coastal email, whether you want to or not. And then as well, in our digital culture in the time of COVID-19 forum, this one has gotten a little bit more content. So you all posted your stress test responses here, but I've also added a couple of threads just in case you guys want to use this. So there's a general course Q&A thread, a space to talk about serious things related to COVID-19. And then some of you mentioned in the kind of first survey that you enjoyed seeing this kind of funny stuff. So if you come across other stuff you want to share with the class, I hope you'll post it here. Anytime there's a discussion post for like an assignment, that will also be on this forum. So this is kind of our new primary forum meeting ground place for the class, is this digital culture in the time of COVID-19 forum on Moodle. So heading back to our course, you can see I'm also enjoying some slow home internet. All right. So the biggest change here is this weekly modules block. So this book right here is where everything that you need to know for class, all the lessons, all the readings, everything is going to be here. So this is kind of your one-stop shop of where to go. So you'll notice that if you come in here, at number 9, you see we have online week 10 and then 2 sub-chapters, USS Callister and Culture, USS Callister Formal Film Analysis. I've already started building out this content. So if you go to this week, you will see my suggested pace for the schedule, everything you need to do, links to the readings that you're responsible for, links to the assignments, to what you should be doing, and so on, all the way down to get you through 2 weeks. The content, so the stuff that we would be doing if we were having class, is going to happen on these 2 subfolders. So 9.1 is not built out yet, but this is where in a few days you'll find a lecture from me about USS Callister and some of the readings that you had, but you will notice that 9.2 has already been built out for the first film analysis topic, which is going to be color. So you have some background reading, a few videos to watch, and then at the bottom, the prompt for that video. So again, if you want to get started working, this is ready for you. There's really just one kind of topical area that's not quite ready, but that's where you'll find everything. So I'll be adding a chapter, the same kind of structure for San Junipero when we get there. Okay, so this is where you'll find everything, again, is in these weekly modules books. Okay, and even though everything is linked within those weekly modules, of course, they have to already exist on the course somewhere. So if you don't want to go through this book for stuff, you know that you need a reading to find or an assignment to submit, you can access all of that in their respective blocks, just as before. So readings are linked here, assignments are all in here. Okay, and then here, the surveys and feedback block is where I will be posting the surveys weekly to keep getting feedback from you all. And then resources has all the same things as before with a couple of additions. First, as I said, our netiquette guidelines are here. And then second, I've added this book with a few resources for effective online learning, which might be helpful for you all. So there's just 3 different kind of guides here, and then there are links out. So again, a number of you mentioned in that first survey that you don't learn well online, or you're not sure how to learn well online. So I hope that you will use those and find some comfort and solidity kind of from those spaces. Okay, so that is kind of gets us through everything. That's the end of our Moodle site and the end of this video. So let me welcome you again to DCD 231, the social distancing edition. And I will see you, quote unquote, here online in the next few weeks. So thanks everyone. Keep hanging in there, and we'll talk soon.